Welcome to the Stache Club Wrestling Podcast, everyone. Episode 109. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Hello.
We got a big show. We are going over Saturday night's main event. We're going over the follow-up from Raw. And then we got some even stuff on happening at AEW and NXT and all of that. We got a lot of stuff to go over. Big, exciting week. Before we get into it, we do have a few housekeeping stuff, few fun things, just a few things we want to chat about before we get into it. One is a selfish self-promotion thing where I do have a new song out, Raspy Taylor on Spotify and YouTube and Apple Podcasts. Go check that out. It's called White Wine Demo. Go check that out.
My favorite kind of wine, white wine.
I know, I'm not a red wine guy.
It depends on the situation. If I'm at like dinner or something like at an Italian restaurant, like get a bottle of red wine, I can mix that in. But like, if I'm just sipping, if I'm just drinking, white wine, that's for me.
Someone told me a while ago that like, and I understand where it's coming from. I don't know if I fall into this, but white wine is for the summer, red wine is for the winter.
Yeah,
that's
I feel like I've heard of that before. Yeah, no, white wine is definitely. I get like a bitter taste in my mouth.
It's too
of red wine. White wine goes down like water.
I want to eventually. What's your white wine of choice?
But you can't go wrong with like a Pinot Grigio or like a Chardonnay or something like that. Probably.
I'm a Riesling, Chardonnay, Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc is good.
Boxed.
of course. Sipping on that Josh, baby.
Yeah. Or the bag. You take it out of the box. You just slap the bag.
Slapping the bag. Oh, been there, done that.
But yeah, so that's out. Go check that out. I won't self promo too much, but you'll see it on social media. Next thing. We do have the Stache Awards coming up this weekend, folks. We're going to film it later this week.
Yep.
And I think it's going to, just because of like the holidays coming up next week, it's going to be a weird week. So I think, so hopefully people see it. We're going to put it out, I think, Sunday.
Yeah, I give you guys a few days before the holidays and everything. Because you're on Christmas, you're with your family, you're doing whatever, Christmas Eve, same.
And then hopefully if you're traveling on Christmas Eve or whatever, you got the podcast and the Stache to listen to.
Exactly. You don't have to watch on YouTube. You can listen to it as well.
I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'm just going to drop the hint here. We will have some special guests.
Ooh.
We do have a big show planned.
Yeah.
So it's going to be exciting. Please watch that. And then we're gonna have our our awards we're gonna give. But then the big thing is the Stache Award presented or voted on by the fans. We got 1,000+ of you that voted, so we appreciate that.
Hell yeah.
So everything is you guys' voice for that section.
Hell yeah.
So that's gonna be exciting. Again, please check that out this weekend. Third and last thing. Patreon.
There's some confusion.
Oh man.
Some confusion.
Okay.
Let's clear it up.
And so, all right, patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling. A couple things. One, gotta make it clear. And admittedly, I think there's a reason why it's not clear, because when Patreon first started months ago, we were trying to figure out what it was. Yeah. We weren't sure what was going to be on it. So there would be admittedly bleed off. Like we'd leave some NXT stuff, even like early we'd leave some Raw stuff on. We don't really do that anymore. We haven't done that for months. If anything, like you said before we even start recording, like we'll sometimes leave NXT stuff to it. Like for instance, last week the only thing that got left off the main show was like the Ray Fenix tweets,
right?
And that's kind of been what the Patreon is. We haven't really omitted any like big or whatever news. Yeah. So the main show has been the main show forever. But in an effort to make that more the case, we're making it a point now to everything is going to be on the main show. Nothing's going to be omitted in terms of news or events, and like some smaller stuff, like if there's a whatever squash match, we might skip it for the sake of like trying to get to the more important stuff.
The biggest hitters, the biggest stories and stuff will always be on the main show. And if there's things that like you said, like a squash match or like maybe a small segment that like isn't the most talked about thing, maybe we'll give our 2 cents on it there. But
or it's something that like we will check Wrestle Ops and like, oh, this is whatever.
Exactly.
So to be clear, what the Patreon is, just for those that are curious, obviously you don't know what the Patreon is unless you're in the Patreon.
Of course.
A lot of it is our personal lives. We talk a lot about movies. I think today's gonna be a big movie, big movie heavy one. We talk music, and then a large part of it, because it is still a wrestling podcast, is we have a Q&A where we answer everyone's questions, and they're like 90% about wrestling. So it's wrestling Q&A, general nostalgia, wrestling talk, as well as just like personal stories and whatever. So think of it. I know this is long-winded. I'm going to wrap this up, but think of the Patreon as just a totally separate a Patreon exclusive podcast. So you have this main Stache Club Wrestling podcast, and then you have the extra show if you want to hear us chat about our stories and lives and answer questions and, do more just like outside of just the weekly show wrestling, right? With that said, to further kind of establish that and to help me out and also kind of gaining interest levels, we're going to take away the ad-free versions of the main show and reduce the price from $5.99 to $5 a month. This is getting real long-winded.
Sorry, we got to explain.
So you're gonna get the exclusive podcast over there. You can still listen to it on Spotify, but the main show is just gonna be totally separate, and then the ad free. And admittedly, we haven't had a whole lot of ads, so so the ad free version, obviously, I'll talk about more of this on the Patreon. But if people are on the Patreon, like, no, we really like the ad free, of course we're gonna listen and bring it back. So that's the change going forward. We're gonna see how that goes.
We're men of the people.
Exactly.
We want to listen to your feedback. We want to do what's right for you guys. So.
Exactly. And that's it. That's the housekeeping stuff. Hope that clears things up. Hope that I think there's been some discussions about like, oh, ever since this and whatever. So that's that.
Just wanted to clear the air. That's all.
Let's get to some wrestling. We had Saturday night's main event.
Yes, we
on
did.
Saturday.
Yep.
Fun show. I had a good time.
It was a very well done show that I think not to say I wasn't, but I think people were expecting more to happen than what did actually happen during the show.
We all got our hopes up for a show that has historically been just a house show, basically, and we all got
because it was
up.
the first time in X amount of years.
And the card was sick.
Stacked card.
Which the reason the card was sick, because house shows have stacked cards.
Exactly.
The reason the card was sick because there weren't going to be any changes. So they're saying, what I mean? Who cares?
Threw everyone there. Yeah. I mean, it was a really good show. The matches were great.
The presentation was
sick.
Cool.
Was awesome. The throwbacks to, the commentary, the ring, the Titantron, we'll talk about it later on, the belts and stuff. Like, it was really well done, and I enjoyed watching it. I had a good time.
They need to get Jesse Ventura on commentary like a lot more.
I think
he was so funny.
He is like,
and also Pat McAfee was
low
back.
key one of the commentators.
He was awesome, dude. Hasn't missed a step.
I think they said because they're doing this 4 times a year. The next one's in January.
Yeah,
it's like before Rumble, so we're like a month away from the next one. He's gonna be doing every single one.
Oh, that's cool.
Because he said, I'll be here this time and like 4 other times.
Sick.
So
are they all going to be in New York?
No, the next one's in San Antonio, I believe. Somewhere in Texas. I think San Antonio. And it's funny because I've been like rewatching like some old like Royal Rumbles and stuff when he was commentating, and I'm just like, man, you're right. Good. Like, he hasn't lost a step. Like, he really is the same.
And he was like still in character. Like, he sent a shot at Dusty Rhodes.
Dude, he was shitting on Cody. Like, you cheated, like making him look like the bad guy and stuff like that. It was great. I loved it. It was very refreshing.
We'll move on to the first match here. We got Drew McIntyre defeating Sami Zayn to open up the show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say my one. No, this isn't a complaint. It's like a note, and it's a note for all the matches. So I'm just gonna say it once. It's because of the type of show it was. They were all like 5 to 8 minutes shorter than you wanted.
Sure.
Like this match in particular, it was so fiery. It was hot. I feel like it ended. I won't say it ended abruptly, but it was just short.
It was 2 hours, right? It was from 8 to 10. Yeah.
And it's like a stacked card for a 2-hour show. So like I get why it's short. It's not a PLE. Like, that's, I'll get that out of the way.
He kept it to the 5 matches though. He loves that.
He did.
That magic number 5.
That's right. Honestly, he could have done 4 for this.
Could have. Yeah.
But this was fun. Drew McIntyre got the win. We saw some bleed off into Raw of them attacking each other. So this was just kind of felt like a checkpoint in their rivalry and
one down.
Yeah.
He's the bloodline hunter. 1 down. We're calling him Drew McIntyre.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like that name. Who's we?
What?
He said we're calling him.
Oh, I've seen it on Twitter.
Really?
So no, I'm not taking credit for it at all. I saw someone calling the Bloodline Hunter.
That's sick.
There was like a graphic where he was holding up like 5 cards, and one of them had like Sammy.
So he's going. I get it.
Then Jay's next, then Jimmy, and
that's
then
fun.
I think the 5th card, because Punk was on the team, but I don't know. I can't imagine he's going to go back after Punk. And then Roman, obviously being the top guy. But yeah, like Bloodline Hunter's a really cool name.
Bloodline Hunter's sick. Really they should start making T-shirts.
They should.
But yeah, I got nothing much to say about this other one. It was a really fun match. It made me excited to see them get a full-blown PLE.
For sure.
Whatever.
They both
or like
delivered.
You said, unless he moves on from Sammy. I don't know.
They both delivered. Right man won. Good first win back
I'd
for
say
Drew.
so.
Good first return win for him. Kind of sets the tone for what's going on next.
Liv Morgan defeats Io Sky. Not a bad match.
No.
More of a Liv centric match. This was fine.
The knee she took was fucking brutal.
Yeah, I don't know if she actually broke her nose. That's what people were thinking at the time. This was solid. A little. Again, it's because of the length of the show. These two have chemistry. I just don't think they
weren't given the proper time.
Yeah. Rhea Ripley, naturally, as always, comes out to face Liv, and they do their standoff and blah blah blah.
I saw a tweet that said Triple H, like when Triple H hears like, "This is my brutality," this is like his glass shattering, like Stone Cold, break glass in case of emergency. He just knows when to get a cheap pop, and playing that music does it. When she came out, I'm like, okay, this happens every week. We don't need to stare down here. We already know Rhea's coming for her.
Well, you know what happened on Raw too? Broke the brutality. We'll talk about it.
It's a cheat code, man. It's a cheat code for Triple H.
Obviously we were hoping. I think we were both we didn't do predictions, but we were both kind of hoping Io would take this. Yeah. But again, hindsight's 2020. Now we know what more of the show was. I mean, Io's still
she's gonna be in the mix.
She's gonna be in the mix.
I really think. I mean, early predictions for like Women's Royal Rumble. I mean, she's got to be like one of the top, the top favorites to win. I mean, I get it. Like they're doing Liv and Rhea still, and I think they did a whole number one contenders they announced, which I'm a Netflix maybe, but when WrestleMania season comes around, I don't know who's going to be the champ, whatever it may be, but Io Sky better be involved somehow.
I think the real early prediction is Rhea versus Io, which would be sick.
Pray to God. Yeah. I mean, Liv, I don't want to discredit. I think her run has been.
I've liked her run.
Her run's been good. I think it's just being overshadowed by the fact that Rhea's just been involved in 90% of it, which is I understand, but at least she had a match with Io. She's had good matches and she's been really good. I would just like to see her on WrestleMania time. Rhea Io is, for me, that's a direction I think we should go down, and we'll see how we get there.
And I don't think when we do the actual number one, or when we do the actual championship match, Rhea versus Liv, Rhea's not losing that one.
I can't imagine, especially if it's on
Liv's
Netflix.
Had some sneaky wins too, and this isn't going to be one of those.
Netflix is being treated as a WrestleMania type event, where I think we were talking about Saturday Night Main Event, there's going to be a big title change. They're hyping no. If they're doing one championship match or multiple championship matches, there has to be some sort of shocking title change or something's got to happen.
Gunther retains his World Heavyweight Championship against Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Gunther looks good again. Yes. It was good to see him back in his form. A lot of this was Damian and Finn kind of going at each other, preventing pinfalls and blah, blah, blah. But Gunther got the dominant win. It's what we wanted. Sure, lead this into Damian and Finn. Who gives a shit? Bada bing, bada boom. This was cool.
My favorite part about Gunther's character is when a match is towards the end and he was just oh, let me just finish this really quick,
and they just power bomb and then fucking folds them up. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, absolutely. And Gunther, ultimate professional. There was the spot where he was power bombing Priest onto the stairs.
Oh, and
you could tell that he didn't catch him fully the first time. Gave her a second, lifted him up and dropped him. Super as professional as they come. He is back to looking like a monster. I mean, a part of me, of course, did want Finn to win because
of course,
right?
So,
but
100%.
This made the most sense, and Gunther's back on the train tracks, and Ballard and Priest are going to continue doing their thing. So
and these three together were fun. They were
100%.
Fast. I think even the shorter match time even helped them, because we got to see them with Damian and Gunther being kind of the bigger and harder hitting guys. It was fun to see these three go fast.
Sure.
All right, we got.
Match.
Chelsea Green defeating Michin to become your inaugural Women's United States champion.
Let's fucking go, dude.
I mean, hell yeah. Her attire with her face all over it.
So appropriate.
She's
very appropriate.
Fucking money.
She's the best.
And also all credit to Michin. I think Michin is, again, the Stache Awards are coming up. I think Michin is a nominee for this category. One of the most underutilized, I don't want to say underappreciated, but underrated women's wrestlers on the roster. And she is so good.
The way that they set this match up, the booking of it, the leading it to these two superstars, I think was perfect. I think these were the perfect two superstars to be in the inaugural match. Two superstars that not former world champions, that kind of, can be swept under the rug or, be put over for some other people. But even though Michin lost, she looked unbelievable.
Yeah,
I think, and Triple H put out a tweet. He took pictures with both of them after, and he was like, just one loss doesn't mean anything. Like the bar has been set. Like you're the future, whatever. Both these women looked amazing. The finish was awesome. Chelsea flipping over her to hit the unprettier.
That was cool. That was really cool
finish, and you could tell too, like her reaction
when she landed that move, and like right before she hit it, like she was like, you could see in her face.
Yeah,
she was like, okay, I nailed it. I'm gonna wait. Like here we go. Like she was hyped.
So you'll have to see that. She deserves it. I mean, Michin deserved to be in that position as well. But Chelsea Green, she's been everywhere. And to get to this point, very deserving. I'm very excited to see what this first reign is going to be looking like.
Chelsea Green also hit a little Rough Rider in the match. Shout out Matt Cardona. Shout out Long Island.
They went to Disney right after, and they were posting pictures. I forget who tweeted it, but it was like, we're the first couple to be to both have won the United States Championship or something like that. Cool. It was very funny.
And he's he's facing Jericho for the ROH title.
Yes, that's World's
Dying or not? Yeah, I guess World's End.
Maybe at World's End. I could be wrong.
Is it on World's End?
I have no idea. I'd imagine, but
either way, I hope it's cool to see. Not to transition to Matt Cardona, but cool to see him on AEW TV. I love Cardona.
He showed up. What was it? Was it on Rampage or Collision or something?
He was on ROH.
Yeah, I think they did. It was like a learning tree thing or whatever, and he came out. I figure. I don't
definitely
know
wasn't Dynamite.
No, I don't think it was Dynamite.
I don't know why.
But hey, if he gets some gold on him. The wrestling power couple, double
sick.
champs.
It is so cool.
It's very cool.
All right, Cody Rhodes defeats Kevin Owens. Couple notes here. One, obviously, the winged eagle is money.
So and it looked perfect on Cody. It looked perfect on him.
The reveal is so he came out and just kind of like slowly revealed. It took it out. Yeah. Oh my god.
Looked great.
It's perfect.
Beautiful.
It's awesome. Cody hits an RKO on the announce table. There were 2 fucking referee bumps.
Of course.
Which, all credit to them. I think at this point we kind of knew nothing was going to happen on the show, but the 2 ref bumps made you think Kevin could win this.
Some shitty way to win, some sneaky way.
And the probably the most, I would say, the most notable in terms of story progression thing that happened after the show. Kevin Owens takes out Cody, hits a package pile driver, and walks out with the winged eagle belt.
And him and Triple H got into a little shoving match after too. Let me say something really quick. If Triple H didn't have a defibrillator in his heart and actually could wrestle or do anything physical, that 1000% would have been a WrestleMania match.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
It would have been the perfect WrestleMania match. Unfortunately, we
going from all the way from Triple H handing him the WWE Championship and then them not getting along and all. Yeah, it would be
this
perfect.
Story progression is whenever Triple H gets involved, that makes it feel so much more important. And he did get involved before with Randy and stuff, and was like, I don't this is the most dangerous they've seen Kevin Owens. I don't want you to get hurt. Yeah, dude. I mean, him hitting that pile driver, which we haven't seen. I don't think he's done that in WWE. He may have very early on, but a move like that, he hit the pile driver on Randy, and to take it up a notch with this, they sold it like money. Yeah. Obviously, they announced Cody had spine bruising in his cervical. It was 10 million different big words. But him walking out with a belt is, I think, the one of the key things here, because it was obviously hyped up as a one night only. You're gonna have the belt. But Kevin Owens walking out with it, it makes me think he's going to be carrying it around for a little bit, and they're definitely going to have at least one more match. I think they have to have at least one more match, and how that belt is brought into it or wrapped up into it. I'm very interested to see what they do with it.
I'm curious too. I wouldn't be surprised if we'd never see it again. Sure. And it was that one night and Kevin walks out with it. I don't think I've seen speculation on Twitter where people, are they going to do the the
unification or
they've done this a couple times? No, I'm the real champion. No, I hope they don't do that. That's stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even if we get, like you said, if we get one SmackDown of him being that shit eating whatever, and look what I have, and taking pictures with it.
Yeah.
That's money.
Because years ago they did a photo shoot of like superstars.
I saw that photo going around.
And he took it as his like profile. He put it as his profile picture. Like,
That's
this
cool.
is mine now. I can see him being like, I have something that like you want, or like your dad like wanted. He's gonna bring Dusty's gonna get tied into this somehow, and he's gonna be like, you're not gonna get it until you give me a match or something like that. That's in my head. That's what I think they're doing. But
I just don't know how they get, because they're not going to keep it on TV. I hope they do, but I don't think because then Cody has the real WWE Championship, and then if he's like, hey, I want that one.
I want that one instead. I don't know how they can play that.
That's the thing. I hope, like I said, I definitely agree with you. I hope we see it on TV again. I wouldn't be surprised if it's forgotten about. It's,
and for it kind of, I mean, again, it kind of said Finn. I was, if Kevin won, I would have loved it. I would have been hyped. At the same time, we should have reasonable expectations. If Cody's losing the belt before Mania, the only person I see beating him is The Rock. If he ever does show up before Mania, we should have known. The belt's not leaving Cody's shoulders.
That's another point I was gonna make. Maybe not, but either way, good match, really fun match, and then even in terms of story progression, even more interesting post match. And
people also, I want to point out, people are pointing out how Kevin Owens has a case that the ref that made the final count, it's illegal to make a count outside the ring.
You
have to be in the ring to make the count. So people are saying, Kevin, you have something. You have something to get yourself a rematch. I don't know, but yeah, a lot of little details in that match that will be brought up again.
We'll move over to Raw. We got Punk and Seth kicking off the show. This was great
in Boston.
What
a night to be alive in Boston.
And me and you were both front row.
Yep.
I don't know if anyone saw
that. We're backstage actually. Yeah.
Have to say, just kidding. So a lot of people don't know when we're sarcastic.
We weren't there.
Punk admits. I love this. Punk admits. He's like, well, I've been thinking about Seth a little bit.
You know what? I'll say it. I ghosted him. I did it.
He's talking shit. Seth appears in the crowd. The two continue to throw shots at each other. Punk says that Seth belongs out there with the rest of the CM Punk fans. And the crowd's like, yeah. And then Seth's like, sure. I like being out here.
He goes, I love being with the fans. See, I don't think that's embarrassing.
Yeah. Seth saying that this fan will main event more WrestleManias than Punk ever will. He calls him Phil, and then that sets the two off.
That pissed him off.
They run at each other. They start fighting they fight in the crowd, and they get in the ring. And they fight in another section of the crowd. This was cool. I'll be honest, it gave me a lot of FOMO for not being there, because I was like, I could have seen been in the fucking nosebleeds and watching, But
good promo. Nice little just getting us to January 6th. Basically.
I do want to give a shout out to the WWE ID New England recruits. I saw one. It was Gall or GAL, whatever. He was the redheaded bodyguard.
Okay.
I think there might have been one or two. He was the only one I recognized. I thought there might have been one other ID guy as a bodyguard.
You know what they say about those bodyguards.
That's the thing.
Future world champs.
That's the thing. I was looking for Marcus Mathers. I don't think he has like a lot of matches in the past week or whatever.
Had the night off.
But yeah, it was this was cool. It progresses stuff, and then later on, which we were kind of speculating if this would happen or not. Kind of shocking, kind of not. Seth Rollins versus CM Punk is made official for the Raw Netflix show.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's not gonna be the first time they face. I do think they'll even run it back at Mania.
Yeah.
But this is crazy. It's on the Netflix show.
I get it. Because it's still, Netflix is still less than a month away. And it's like we talked about it. Like if they have this match, their first match at Mania, that is 5 months away. Yeah. So can you drag it on and stuff like that, and like give each other like things to do like while the feud's going on? I think they could, but this feud is so hyped up, and it's like there goes the bottle, and how they've been progressing it every week. It's like they're getting people like they wouldn't. I think the way that they're doing it right now, obviously they're setting up for January 6th. They wouldn't have been able to stretch it out because people are going to get to like, we want this match now. Like they're looking forward to it. if they do this match, I don't know what they're going to do at Mania. They could run it back. They could do like a trilogy type of thing, but
there'd need to be a stipulation or something.
There has to be something going on, because if they're not fighting at Mania, like I don't know like who both guys could I mean, like we could list off a few like possibilities, whatever, but it's like Seth keeps bringing up the WrestleMania main event and stuff, so it's like they both need to be involved in a WrestleMania main event, right? So
Punk has mentioned Gunther in the past.
He has. Paul Heyman owes him a favor. It could be for something completely different.
Right.
But yeah, no, I mean, I'm looking forward to the match. It's obviously going to be kick ass. It's going to be super hyped up, but it does leave me wondering what they're going to do for Mania.
I think at the end of that match, we'll know.
Yes,
like if the match is like a full blown, like they go for 45 minutes and it's crazy, then we're like, oh, that was the match.
Yeah.
If it's like a 15-20 minute guy and it's just like okay, then I think that's like the inclination of like, oh, that wasn't the
right,
you know,
like
the
one of them doesn't, like, I wouldn't say squash, but like what, like let's say CM Punk wins in like 5-10 minutes, like a quicker match, whatever, but just like Seth isn't on his A game, Punk gets him, and that for the next few months that boils up Seth, and he eventually leads to another match. It could do something like that,
or there's a disqualification. Maybe that's when he cashes in a Paul Heyman favor.
Sure,
there's a lot of it's going to be interesting. But like I said, I think we'll know at the end of the match where we're going with the Punk and Seth thing.
Credit to WWE, man. I mean, they're keeping us on our toes. They're keeping us guessing. And Cody said it. This WrestleMania is going to be unpredictable. Like last year was unpredictable. Yeah. I could, at least we had some sort of sense of like who's going to be involved in what. We have no idea who could be a champ going into Mania. Who could be what? There's a million people that could win the Rumble.
Like usually the main event is pretty. At minimum, the main event's easy to predict. Like obviously Cody Roman. Cody Roman, Rock.
At least we
Roman,
knew those three. Yeah. Like one of those three was going to be, or two of those three was going to be involved. I
don't know.
Now, we don't know.
Speaking of Roman, also announced for the Raw on Netflix is Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa in a tribal combat match.
Tribal combat. Yeah, like I said,
this is crazy.
The big guns for Raw on Netflix.
It's nuts.
The last time he wrestled on Raw, Roman Reigns, got to be a long time ago.
Yeah.
So,
Raw on Netflix is looking stacked.
For the for what LA Knight called it, the Oompa Loompa or whatever, the Ulafala. How he was calling it a million different things. I mean, that's a match that, again, they could have bled that out till Mania or like another bigger show or whatever, but they're saving it for here. And
I like it.
That also, like you said, Punk and Rollins, by the end of this match, I think we're going to know a few things of what's going to happen next. Like where Roman's going to be like next, like what his next feud's going to be if The Rock comes back.
I was going to say, not to jump on your speculation. I did see your tweet of is this when The Rock's coming back?
I mean,
it would be if The Rock came back on Raw and Netflix with how the card already is, like all time event. That would be fucking crazy.
They're building, and then going off of your tweet, you were talking about what it could be. John Cena is gonna be on the show.
John Cena is gonna be on the show. I'm gonna jump ahead. We got maybe the debut of Penta
could be on the
show. Are you crazy?
Dude, the matches that have been announced, and you know that there's gonna be other legends. Travis Scott's gonna be there, for God's sakes. You know what I mean? Like
it's gonna be nuts.
They're
dude.
Building it up to be one of the biggest Raws, one of their biggest televised shows ever.
Here's the thing. Something needs to happen.
That's why like a title change, like Rhea Liv could happen. Like a title change needs to happen, a return needs to happen, a shocking swerve, whatever it may be.
Even if at minimum, like Punk and Rollins has to deliver as the banger, and it has to progress like that story.
Will that be the main event even? Like, was Roman Solo going to main event? Is that going to main event?
That's a good point.
Is that going to open the show? People are like, what's the first? Who's going to open up Raw? And people are like, gifts of Triple H or whatever.
Oh, he's 100% opening up.
Are you ready to play the game?
He's 1,000% open. And welcome everyone. We got a historic event. And are you
welcome to Raw? Is Netflix?
I would be shocked. I would lose a lot of money.
It's gonna be him. It's gonna be him. But I'm amped, bro.
Yeah,
they're hyping this show up. They're making it a good one, and I will be seated for it. That's for sure.
I will say, and I haven't seen many people make this note. I do wish I'm just gonna say this real quick. I do wish the date was different.
It's gonna be the most memorable January 6th in a few years for sure. Yeah, it's going to be the most talked about January 6th in at least 5 years.
Braun Breaker retains the Intercontinental Championship against Ludwig Kaiser.
Another good
Banger.
match. Great match.
Banger.
He has the best shoulder tackle in wrestling, I swear, Braun Breaker.
He's got the best most things in wrestling.
He does.
My God.
All credit to Roman, but Braun Breaker's spear feels like it hurts a little bit more.
It's probably the best in wrestling right now.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to say it.
He hit the top rope Frankensteiner. He did. I like that they're calling it the super spear when he does like the bouncing off the ropes. They call it that. Nice. Ludwig is continuing to prove himself as a top tier talent on the roster. This is great. I didn't think Ludwig was going to win, but just a fun icy defense for Braun Breaker to get under his belt and show off Ludwig. This is cool. This is great.
Just another check mark in the title reign. Makes him look good. And each week that goes by, they're really feeding into like a lot of like, not saying they're turning him face or anything like that, but he definitely seems like with his move set and the way he's like with the crowd and stuff, it's like they're kind of
Ludwig or Braun?
No, Braun, where he's just kind of like in the middle, where like he can be a heel, come off as a heel, but like he's likable with his move set and just.
It's hard to dislike that. It's hard to dislike someone that fun to watch.
When you give a big guy, when you're having him do Frankensteiners and go 20 miles an hour around the room, you're gonna cheer for it. You're gonna cheer for it. So
there was this moment in the match that I liked where Braun was gonna do his run around the ring spear, and then like Ludwig ducked him, I think he was gonna do it. It didn't happen. Then Ludwig was like, "I'm gonna do the run around the ring spear," and he got to the other side of the ring, and like, Braun was gone. Yeah. I don't know where the fuck he went.
I think he went like under the ring.
Either went under the ring, or he must have, right? Because he would have. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what happened. And then he comes out of fucking nowhere behind him.
Comes flying out. He's incredible.
Fun match. I'm excited for the future. Braun Breaker, like I said, a good banger to have under his belt.
Hell yeah.
All right. Liv and Rhea promo.
They're back.
We got
first
another
time
one.
Ever face to face.
As was cool. We established Rhea as, like you alluded to earlier, as the official number one contender for Liv's title. No date has been announced. Like we were saying, I wouldn't be surprised if this is on the Raw, the Netflix on Raw, whatever.
Yep.
I'm really just trying to jump around calling it January 6th Raw.
The big match on January 6th. You got to be there.
Rhea's going to be storming to the
storming to the ring. This is my brutality. Oh my God. Anyways, there was one line in this that you do have written down that I think was the highlight.
Maybe a line of the year contender if we had that for the Stache Awards. Rhea calls Dominic Mysterio a chicken tender slut.
Well, at the end of the day, aren't we all chicken tender sluts?
I've never related to something more in my life. Are you crazy?
If someone called me a chicken tender slut, I'd be like, you're right. Can't argue with you on that one.
Well, you know what's an overrated chicken tender? Raising Cane's. Too greasy, makes my tummy hurt.
When did you have Raising Cane's? Around here? The new one?
I eat chicken tenders without you.
I didn't invite me? You didn't invite me?
I actually haven't had it the first time I had it was a few years ago. Me and my buddy were going to the Igor tour for Tyler the Creator at I want to say Boston University.
They do have one downtown,
and that's
Boston.
Where the Raising
They do have the downtown Boston.
I had it there. I had it one other time. I can't remember.
They have one opened up in Marlboro, but that's still like not close to us. But I've only had
one in near like the library, like Boston Public Library.
Maybe there's a few in Boston. They did a big they did a big, I don't know if it was an opening, but the Celtics did something there that had like a Drew Holiday, Al Horford was like,
I remember that. Yeah.
Anyways, I've only had Raising Cane's once. It was in Texas when I went to visit my family, and I reacted the way you did because me and my friends talked about it the other night because we were talking about Popeyes, and I said I think Popeyes is actually overrated because I think to me Popeyes was like, during COVID, they came out with the sandwich and everything like that, and it was like a big popular thing. And I look back on that time period, I'd get it a lot because that was my like only time I'd get out of the house.
Right,
to sit in the drive-through for like an hour and just get it.
I would do that with Chick-fil-A.
And I'd be like, oh, this is amazing, whatever. But now I have Popeyes, and I'm just like, doesn't have that COVID feel to it. Doesn't have that that nostalgia nostalgia feel to it. But Raising Cane's, the one time I did have it, and I mentioned I was like, I think Raising Cane's is underrated. So I'm going against what you're saying. Again, I only had it once, so I can't I should have it more.
It tastes great. I'm literally only going off of it making my stomach hurt.
Sure. Oh, that's fair. And now Popeyes does the same thing to me. So that's also where I'm coming from.
Do you get the bone in at Popeyes ever?
I can't. Maybe I did years ago.
See, that's because
the last few times I've just gotten tenders or the sandwich.
Everything else, like the tenders, I don't love. The sandwich, I think, is the sandwich. I think is good. But like if I go to Popeyes, I'm getting like the bone fried chicken,
sure,
and that's
sure.
like maybe that's
like their staple. They didn't come up with the sandwich. That's not their staple.
I need to run back. I'll resend my Raising Cane's take because I haven't had it recently enough. I should go in.
Same with me. I think their sauce.
Yeah,
I think their sauce is phenomenal.
I don't love the fry. I like the fries because it's like a southern, like the crinkle cut or whatever. But like, just
Popeyes
in general,
fries. I think
get me started.
To me, that's the best.
It's a great fry.
The best part. That's the best part.
So I was gonna coming off a chicken tender slut. There's a reason I brought. I was gonna ask you what you think the top fast food chicken tenders is. So we have a Popeyes, we have a Raising Cane's.
Chick-fil-A.
Most of the chicken tender.
But they don't have. I mean, they have sandwiches. I've never gotten like chicken tenders. They have nuggets.
That's the thing. I don't know many like. Whenever I'm at a fast food place, it's either like nuggets or a chicken sandwich. I don't really know too many like.
Right. I mean, down
tenders.
South, I don't know if like Jack in the Box might do stuff like that.
I think Wendy's used to do a tender.
Wendy's, McDonald's does like the chicken sandwiches. And honestly, McDonald's chicken sandwiches are underrated. I want to point that out. They do make a really good, like not bad chicken sandwich for what it's worth.
I haven't had the chicken Big Mac.
Oh yeah, me neither.
Which sounds like it's just the same as their chicken sandwiches.
It's just two chicken patties with Big Mac sauce
Everyone's
on
like,
it.
Whoa.
I mean, there's not really many places to like compare, but
I'll have to get to the bottom of this. I'm gonna make it a point to get Raising Cane's the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I think that might be on my to-do list as well, for sure.
I've had Chick-fil-A in a
Let
while.
us know your favorite chicken tenders, fast food chicken tenders, and we can get back to wrestling.
Yeah, that was kind of the point of me bringing it up, but then as we were talking about it, I kind of realized like there aren't many discussion points for
there's
for
really
fast food
not
chicken
many
tenders.
like fast food
because we could talk
tenders.
nuggets, we could talk chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, I mean,
but tenders for some reason there's not. You know.
Yeah, chicken nuggets every plate's got.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right.
Next, more wrestling.
Zoey Stark advances in the Intercontinental Championship tournament, defeating Raquel and Kaden Carter. Surprised.
I had money on Raquel. Honestly.
Surprised. Yeah, me too.
I really thought she would have been the one to move on here, but Zoey, cool seeing her get the win here. Moving.
This was solid.
It was a good match.
I don't think she's. Here's the thing. I think she's looking to face. She's going to face Dakota Kai.
Sure.
I think Dakota Kai's going to advance. I think Dakota Kai going over Zoey Stark is a better booking decision in WWE's mind because of where Raquel is placed.
Correct. I agree.
It makes more sense for Dakota to go over Zoey Stark than a Raquel.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole thing.
At the end of the day, whoever's going up against Dakota's moving on. So it's just the more, not believable, but one that makes the most sense. Like you don't want Raquel to eat more pins or look more weak. So yeah, and it gives Zoey a little boost too, which is nice.
In an effort to piss me off, Pure Fusion Collective take out Kairi Sane post match.
Come on,
Pissed.
What the fuck are we doing?
Pissed
Why?
off.
What does she do?
So Kairi's on the other side of the bracket is what I'm deducing, right?
Yes.
Is that what the story is here?
It's Natalia.
If she gets taken out, I'll be so pissed.
It was supposed to be Natalia, her, and then who was the third one in that one?
Oh, I don't know. Let's try the bracket.
I saw the graphic earlier, and I can't remember. I'm gonna feel bad. It's gonna be a big name.
I don't think it's. Oh, here we go.
Alba Fire. That's
Natalia, Kairi Sane, Alba Fire, Lyra Valkyria advance on the other side.
So I wonder if they're gonna do like a replacement.
God, I hope not. I want Kairi Sane to
what? So what are they
bad.
gonna have? Like another person from Fusion Collection in there? Like how? Because if they took her out, you'd think one of them would replace her or something. But Shayna already had a match, so maybe Sonya. I don't know.
Weird. I don't know. I don't get it. Like I said, I think they just did it to make me mad.
Yeah, probably.
Let's see. Oh, where are we? Rhea, Liv, lost my spot. Oh, all right. We talked about Penta, but
you.
teaser video. Speculated with the zero win the thing and the whatever.
I had to ask some questions after because I was at the movies last night and I looked at my phone and I missed everything and I just see that symbol. I go, Someone tell me what this
Yeah,
is.
what is this? What is
Initially,
this?
and I think you tweeted it too, and we thought the same way. I saw that and immediately thought War Raiders.
Well, yeah, that's what happened last time,
that
right?
looked very similar to their return thing. Like, not exactly the same, but similar. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Are they just hyping up their championship match or something like that? I didn't know what was happening, but seems like
seemingly
line in. I've heard it says a 5. The number 5 is a big symbol here. Pentagon 5,
Right.
Penta. Put 2 and 2 together.
I'm hoping so.
I'd imagine
it's a smart move if they're not going to have Ray for like another year.
Don't let Penta sit on the side.
Exactly.
Take advantage of having him, and when Ray eventually things get cleared up, whatever, then you can reform them, whatever. But give Penta some time at least to get. Let the audience get familiar with him if they don't know him already.
And selfishly, this, like, if they brought in the Lucha Bros together, they'd be instantly a tag, right?
100%.
This gives Penta, I love him as a single star.
Opens the door for singles.
This is money.
I think they both alluded to at one point, or maybe Penta did that, like, he wants to be with him. Like, it's like a package. It's a package deal, which I love. I respect that. And when they are both in there, they will do wonders to the tag team division. But they're both also incredible single stars. If Penta, you have him, and who knows how long this will drag out with Ray Fenix, put him on the roster, give him a good 6-month run as a single star, and then once people are familiar with him, you bring in Ray, boom, take off.
up.
I am. It's going to be great, especially if it's on Raw and Netflix. I think they're going to have a big presentation for him. They're going to take him seriously, which they should. Yeah, I'm hyped.
What do we think? What do you think Penta's first feud is? Do we think he's going to interrupt something on Raw? Do you think he's just going to be like presented?
I can see them doing like and people were kind of speculating it could have been this. You know, Carmelo was like, we have an opponent for you next week. But we're not.
Right.
I can see them maybe like Dom or something like that. Like Dom's running his mouth like, maybe it's like someone's like, I want a match on Raw's Netflix. Why haven't you given me a match? You want a match? I have someone for you. Show up next week. But I can see something like that.
A lot of people jump to instantly just pairing him up with Rey Mysterio.
No,
because like they're both with Lucha and
they
guys.
they shouldn't do
I don't
that.
think they need to.
No, I think you can
give him another Ray. Just give him.
Give him. Yeah, no, keep him separate.
He needs to tag someone with the name.
No,
Ray.
he's already with Dragon Lee. He's already with a masked wrestler. I what they do with him, I don't know, but whatever they do, I believe that it'll be a good direction for him.
I hope him and Punk have a little like just like an AEW like.
The Spider-Man memes, like
basically, just like a little kind of how like Punk and Cody had a little,
had
a little. I don't know if we talked about it. Did you see like? I haven't watched the full video, but clips of the behind the scenes of Punk
at Survivor Series. I did watch it.
Maybe we did talk about this, but just to bring it up again when Cody is backstage, I was like,
"Good to see you here."
Good to see you here.
Like, you can tell there's some emphasis on there for sure. Yeah, no, it was. I did watch that. It's pretty cool seeing.
I should watch the full video.
We don't have to get into it, but I did watch. So WWE has their WWE Vault YouTube channel, and they just upload like old matches, old documentaries. Like they put hour-long documentaries, cool. And they put out one. I think it was last week, and it was Jeff Hardy's journey to becoming WWE champion, and it was like the few months prior to him winning, and like just like the trials and like him, the million matches he had with Triple H, and again taken out and blah blah blah. And it was a good hour. It was a good hour watch. If you have like an hour of free time, like it's a good like bring it back to 2008. And if you miss Vladimir Kozlov, you'll get your fix. You'll get your fix there. So
they also put out. I don't know if it was the Vault, but I haven't watched it yet. It's on my recommended. Kurt and Ray did like a sit-down thing.
They watch old matches. I think that's on the regular channel. Yeah, it was on their WrestleMania 22 Triple Threat. I saw a clip. Kurt was like, I was so pissed because your entrance took so damn long or something like that. And it's like they gave you everything, whatever.
That's when he had the band playing too. Yeah. POD.
I think the match was only like 10 minutes long.
Short.
Too. They were like, your entrance like cut into the match. Whatever.
It's a riot.
It was really funny.
Okay. We'll end Raw here with the main event. War Raiders defeat JD McDonough and Finn Balor with the help of Damian Priest, preventing Finn from using the chair.
We won
to become the new which set of tag team is this? Is the World Tag?
Yeah, World Tag Team
Champions.
Oh, we won finally.
Also, a little I think commentary even did a good job of this, but shout out Ivar, New England guy.
So that's cool.
They did
an interview after, post-game interview, you can call it. Both of them were pretty emotional.
I didn't see that.
You can tell how much it meant to. I think Ivar was getting a little broken up about it, a little teary-eyed. Yeah, dude. I mean,
deserved.
Great for them.
Deserved, and also just thank God.
It is great for them, but it is so fucking relieving that like those belts are off of them. I just literally want them to take Finn as far away from the Judgment Day and this mumbo jumbo bullshit, because he is just he's so much better than where he is right now.
We're definitely getting one more him and Damian match.
Sure. Yeah.
Obviously with the interaction here where I'm like,
of course,
let's do that and then let's move on.
Move the fuck on.
And Finn needs to win. I think Finn needs to win this whatever, him and Damian.
If they are gonna separate from Judgment Day, or that's just me hoping, and launch him into the singles scene, give him the win. Damian got the win over him the first time. Damian established himself as a single star now. He's gotten championship matches. Give Finn his win. This could be another match on Netflix, to be honest with you.
I think 100%.
This absolutely could. So if they do it, I agree. Finn Balor needs to win that match.
Even if they don't, because I agree with you, I think I am kind of over his involvement in Judgment Day. Even if he's still in, he's still wearing the purple, he's still representing the squad, fine. But like you said, singles run. Let's get him in the singles. Yeah. 100%. JD and Carlito can be the tag team. Who cares?
Sure. There was a thing, I don't know if you saw it. It was they were backstage and they had WWE 2K on the TV like they always do. And Carlito was standing there and they had it like when you pick your wrestler, and it was Carlito, but it was blacked out because they didn't have the DLC for it. And it was like Carlito can't even play as himself. He didn't buy the DLC or something like that. I was dying. I'm like, how do people even notice that?
But yeah, this was like, to wrap this up. This was great. War Raiders are they're awesome. Their comeback
they're
has
awesome.
been awesome. I love the new presentation of them. So talented in the ring. I mean, this is a ball of a match.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where they go with the tag titles. I think it's gonna be sick.
I can tell you what. It can't get worse. It can't be worse than the last reign we just had.
What was it? I saw the numbers the other day, but it was like 160 something and 3 defenses.
And I don't even know if it was 3. That could have been their third.
I think that's what it was. I think that was the third. Yeah.
Yeah. Good riddance.
Crazy.
Good fucking riddance.
Crazy. All right. We got some extra stuff here as we're coming in to the final quarter of the show here. We do got Dynamite Winters coming.
Yes, it is.
We're not going to go, we have some NXT stuff. We're not going to go over every single thing in detail, but just kind of the highlights and story progression of what happens. We got Hangman getting involved in the world title picture, attacking Mox and Orange Cassidy. He interrupted the tag match to open the show, but I'll say this, sign me up. I know they're both kind of heels, or maybe Hangman is becoming a face. I don't know.
Hangman's always all over the place.
Sign me up for Hangman versus Mox for the world title in 2024.
Yeah,
this
man.
is sick.
They're doing. I don't know if they announced it on this past AEW or they announced it before, but they're going to do the Fatal 4-Way match at World's End, which is going to be.
Oh yeah, I didn't. You're right.
So I mean,
it's Hangman, Mox, Cassidy, and
Jay White.
Oh, and Jay
Hey,
White.
The more the merrier.
That's crazy.
That was the ending to Full Gear. Basically, all of them trying to kill each other, except for Christian. Christian's lurking in the shadows, of course. But I think it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be a kick-ass match.
Is that on the 31st? Is that when World's End is? When is that?
That's a good question. Do a little research.
That's gonna be insane.
Because New Year's is on a Wednesday this year.
I don't know anything about anything. Oh, December 28th.
So
okay.
That
makes more sense. Probably the Sunday.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wild. That's looking up to be. I was looking at the card.
Shaping up to be a good card.
Yeah. All right, then we had, which I'll be the first one to admit, and it is mainly it's on me. I'm not saying it's difficult to understand, but I don't understand the Continental Classic.
Yeah, it's like I'll be honest.
I know they did it last year. Yeah, and there's different points to win, and there's a whole bingo card looking thing.
It reminds me of like a round robin, like a round robin type of thing. There's blue and gold, and
the different leagues.
There's different leagues, and I think you get more points if you beat someone in your league or in the other league.
And then like a pin, I think, is worth 3 points, and like different.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
It's too. I'm sure it's not that complicated. It's just
the way they present it. And it looks is like, whoa, what kind of bingo Sudoku shit is this right here?
I don't get it.
What I do like is that we're getting all these cool matchups, and we're getting upsets like Kyle Fletcher.
Right.
He beat Okada. He pinned Okada. Mark Briscoe pin Fletcher. Osprey's fighting Claudia. Like, we're getting so many fucking just amazing wrestling matches.
Does the winner get like a continental title match? What happens?
So
with the winner
Okada's the champ, and what it is the two highest point getters compete for the belt. So Okada could not. I think logically, this is confusing. And again, if I say something wrong, do not come at me. Just please correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the top 2 point getters, and if Okada isn't the top point getter, he's stripped of the belt, and they fight for the championship. Because the end of the tournament is for the belt. So it's not like two guys competing to see who can face Okada, because Okada is fighting for points on his own.
That's wild.
I can imagine.
That's crazy.
I can imagine that Okada is gonna come out of this in the top 2,
right?
But they could do a swerve thing. But yeah, I thought I heard somewhere, or I saw something that said even if he isn't in the top 2, he isn't competing for the belt.
Huh?
That's again. I could be so off, but that's what I got from it.
I don't know.
So
that's wild.
Yeah, it's a cool concept, but it can be very confusing.
It's from my dumb little brain here or something, you know. So when I'm watching wrestling, it's like half turned off, and you're just kind of sitting there.
I'm
like,
there to chill and relax.
Like, yay, you know.
I feel that.
Io Sky hit a moonsault. Yay! That's kind of how my brain works watching wrestling. So when they start throwing math and when equations at me,
numbers and bingo cards at me,
I'm like, why does that person have 2 points?
I'm gone. I'm gone.
God. Either way. Like you said, we do get blessed with an Osprey versus Claudio, and Osprey did earn 3 points. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Claudio goes to hit his finisher post-match on Will. Darby Allin comes up, interrupts. Banger though. This was sick. I mean, Osprey don't love his new haircut. Osprey's new. He showed it out on was it out when it was coming? He had the new haircut. Like it was like straightened. It was weird. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Either way, fun, cool.
I'm
gonna try to learn what the fuck the Continental Classic is. All right, other piece of news. I forget if this has been announced for a week or two or not, but we haven't really talked about it. MJF versus Adam Cole is announced for World's End. It's gonna be for the Dynamite Diamond Ring. Who gives a shit about that? But either way, we're finally getting now the match we needed: the MJF versus Adam Cole, the conclusion of this.
A year later.
Feud.
A year in the making, kind of.
This will be fun. I think they can get the spark back. They've been slowly getting the spark back.
Yeah.
With the two of them, but
they had to drop a lot of weight to get here. They had to drop a lot of the main story. But yeah, I mean, I think of the match. Him and Kyle O'Reilly fought last week, I think, and whoever won was the number 1 contender. Yeah, the Diamond Ring means they've done it for 5 years, and MJF has won it all 5 years.
Yeah.
So at this point, the ring has just been a part of, like, that's just MJF's character.
It's part of his move. You know,
I can't imagine Adam Cole is going to start walking around with a ring on his finger. That just doesn't fit his personality. But yeah, I mean, this match again. At World's End last year, MJF lost the belt. Adam Cole was revealed as the devil. So it's been it took us a while to get here, but we're here. I don't have the highest of expectations, but I'm optimistic and hopeful that it will be a really good match.
So at the end of the day, it is MJF and Adam Cole, so it's like they're going to deliver something.
Exactly.
Piece of news I wanted to get to: Toni Storm returns at the end of Mariah May versus Mina Shirakawa.
Not timeless, Toni Storm.
Not timeless, and I guess so. Here's the problem that everyone had, and even I had. She had her return match on Collision. Was it Collision or Rampage? Was it Rampage?
And then she had a match the next night on Collision. She did double duty.
Oh, but she did her return on Dynamite.
She returned she came out at Dynamite, but she didn't wrestle. She wrestled at I don't know who she wrestled, but yeah.
She did. Wait, so what did she do at Rampage and Collision?
She had a match. She had 2 matches.
I'm sorry.
No, she had two. She returned.
Got it.
At Winter is Coming, but she had her matches.
I thought she only had one match.
No, I think she did double duty.
But I didn't hear about the Rampage one, but the Collision one, I think it's Collision. That's the thing. You have Collision, Rampage, either way. Had her debut, and she is your biggest star in the women's division. Yep. I would say, maybe star power, maybe not over Mercedes, but in terms of like kayfabe, like she's over Britt, she's over Mercedes, and they do her debut match not on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Don't love that.
Yeah, I agree.
What I do love is, I guess I didn't watch this because I don't watch Collision. She cut a promo and then she announced that she was all elite because her character thinks that she's in 2022.
They put out AEW put out a graphic saying like Toni Storm is all elite.
Did they?
She's been cutting promos. She went up to who was it? Thunder Rosa, I believe. She goes, Toni Storm, nice to meet you, or whatever. And she's like, what? She goes, yeah, I'm like so excited to be here and all this stuff.
She's the best.
She is acting like she has been asleep for the last 2 years. She's been in hibernation.
Awesome. It's perfect.
And she's been back for less than a week, and she already is the best thing going in that division right now. I think she immediately lit a spark in there. Like Mariah May, I want to give her flowers. She's been great as champ and everything.
Even Mina's been great as a chaser.
But Toni Storm is the star of this division.
Yeah.
You could tell like her presence was missed when she's been gone because
her old music hitting too.
She's just not even just this character, but like her character work in general, like the timeless stuff is
amazing.
She's one of the best in the world, not even just in AEW in the women's division, just in wrestling in general. One of the best characters for anything she does. She fits in, she adapts. And again, she's been back for less than a week, and she lit a spark in that division that only she could do. So I love what they're doing, and also she's like in the promos and stuff. She's like the facial expressions are coming out. Like she's like it's there, but like you know what I mean. Either she's playing. Timeless Toni Storm is either playing a character, she's playing old Toni to get people confused, be like whatever. Or she's just
or like Timeless is dead but trying to come out.
Exactly.
Or like whatever.
Yeah, there's little things there that I love and we're gonna see more of. But yeah, Toni Storm's back, fucking awesome.
Here's the thing. Can we put it on Dynamite?
Please.
Put it on Dynamite
like no disrespect to Rampage or Collision, but we all know those are their BC shows. A Rampage on a 10 o'clock on a Friday, like that's not where you want your biggest female superstar having her return match. That's not me jabbing AEW. That's just the truth. You know what I mean? So you want her on the biggest stage where most people are watching. That's Dynamite.
A couple of NXT things. You're gonna have to hold my hand a little bit through this,
Sure.
but Eddy Thorpe interrupts Obafemi as he's calling out Trick Williams. Eddy Thorpe kind of leapfrogs and gets the title match with Trick Williams on the basis of, I was injured, I didn't get what I deserve, whatever. He gets the title match, and then he reveals that he staged his own attack, whatever it was, a month ago.
So good.
Gets granted the title match by William Regal. He's like, oh, gotcha.
Yep.
Boom. Hell yeah. Admittedly, don't know much about Eddy Thorpe.
Yeah, he's been around for a little in NXT for a little bit. He had a bunch of really good matches against Dijak. I believe it was like when Dijak was in NXT and stuff. Hard hitting wrestler. I think he's got an MMA jiu-jitsu, like just that type of background, whatever. But yeah, so Obafemi calls out Trick, whatever, setting up the match. He's like, you're only here because I didn't get in your way, whatever, I would have been champ. Eddy Thorpe comes out and was like, really Trick, like you're a fighting champion, whatever, and you're not going to give me a match, whatever. And I think he got taken out either the day of deadline because he was supposed to be in the match and Obafemi replaced him. Right. And for him to come out, they signed the contract and he's just straight up, yeah, I got what I wanted because you guys fell for it, whatever. That's something like such a heel tactic that we don't see, but it's so like, oh, that's such an easy, like he just faked his own attack. He outsmarted everyone and he got a championship match. That's
he got like a month off of work.
Yeah, he got a month, yeah, dude, like such a good heel tactic. I loved it. I think that's good that pushes off Femi and Trick a little bit because I think like
build the tension.
Exactly. Like Obafemi, when they do fight, I believe he should win right away. Yep. So like have it pushed off as much as you can. Give Eddy Thorpe this match, but
I want Trick to get some more wins under his reign.
I agree. Sure. This definitely isn't a shock, and like Eddy Thorpe's gonna get a win, and they're gonna set that up. I think this is just another defense for Trick, but yeah, should be a fun match. The story's cool, so I'm with it.
Earlier tonight, we had Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez taking out Stephanie Baker.
Those assholes.
And then, they had the main event with Kaylani Jordan and Julia later. And then Stephanie comes out, attacks Cora. Bada bing, bada boom. We got hints of maybe a Kaylani Jordan not being super happy, potential heel turn, yada, yada. And obviously, all this leading up to build more tension with Roxanne Perez versus Julia for the title. Eventually, did they announce when that's happening yet?
I don't think so.
Or it'll happen at Probably, I'll bet you New Year's.
Oh, they did New Year's Evil.
New Year's Evil. Yes, they did. They did mention
did they
it.
announce?
Let's look at that card.
Did they announce? Maybe they're doing Trick and Eddy on that one too.
Oh yeah, probably.
sure.
Let's look at.
Yeah.
I kind of just forgot it was a pay-per-view, to be honest.
Yeah, I forgot as well.
New Year's Evil.
Yeah, it might be in.
When is this?
Is it in 2025? It might be to start the new year, to be honest with you.
2024? No.
So that was in so 2025.
2025. Boom, 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 boom. January 7th.
Okay.
Oh, so one day after.
It's on. So it's not pay-per-view. It's just a special.
Okay.
See what they have for matches. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Trick.
The two matches if we're talking about.
I guess, well, right now it does say Eddy Thorpe or... Oh, wait. So are they going to... Wait a minute. I thought William Regal gave them the match. I'm confused.
Maybe they did it. Maybe it's going to be just like on another NXT.
I'm confused. Unless I might have missed something. I thought Trick and Eddy kind of had the match.
This
is saying Eddy Thorpe versus Obafemi. The winner faces Trick. Is that what happened? Did I miss something?
I could have sworn he signed a contract for the NXT championship.
Yeah, but maybe we missed.
All right, yeah, maybe I misunderstood. No, I thought he won the match.
Let's look it up. NXT results.
Yeah, results.
Oh, I did see these guys, Hank Walker and Tank Ledger won.
Yeah, fun tag team.
They won like the indie. What belts they win? They won like the belts on an indie show, like indie promotion.
Did they? I didn't know.
I forget what it was. I don't know. It might have been ROW. What am I looking at? Fucking
the Eddy
past it. Where am I?
It was at the end of it was like the closing segment. I remember.
Oh my goodness.
After the
all right, wait a minute. Let me go to Bleacher Report.
Yeah,
they're better at.
Sorry guys, we're getting there.
Is this what day is this?
December
3rd. Oh my god!
My
Hold on.
Lord.
Sorry everyone.
We're just making sure we
garbage
get
time.
Yeah, we're just making sure we get our facts straight here.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay, that was this kickoff of the show. Javon Evans gets the dub.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay, Eddy Thorpe. Okay. Obafemi called Trick Williams, who arrived with confidence. Eddy Thorpe interrupted the NXT champion to call out the ruler for attacking him. Femi refuses to take credit for the attack, blah, blah. Trick shifts focus to the New Year's Evil NXT championship match. Thorpe demanded a title shot for the injustice he has faced, and Trick agreed to call it for next week before planning with a punch.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I was going to say, I feel like watching that, I understood what they were doing here, but okay.
This was a messy segment, but there's still time left for Trick and Femi to get on the mic before New Year's Evil.
Oh, shit. Okay. Never mind.
Some more. Okay. All right. That makes more sense.
Okay, so hey, everything I said about stretching out, bleeding out, Obafemi and Trick, out the window. Forget about it.
What do you mean? In terms of not doing it?
Get this match, like him and Eddy at New Year's Evil, and then push off.
Oh, well, it doesn't. I guess it doesn't push it off. It pushes it off a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it does. It does.
You get a couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, it's New Year's Evil. It's gonna open up the new year. I don't think Trick's had the longest run, but it would be cool for Obafemi to get the dub in January to,
kick off the new year, a new era in NXT.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
And especially if they do, I closed the card, but especially if that's where they're having
Julia and Roxanne.
You know what I mean? Imagine coming out of that pay-per-view with Julia and Obafemi.
Yeah, I'd imagine at least one. Julia has to win. At least Julia has to walk out.
I could see maybe Trick winning and then lead to another match with Obafemi.
Sure.
Build that up more, but like the guarantee here is Julia over Roxanne. It has to be.
Royal Rumble's a month away from that. Roxanne's
and then leave Roxanne off TV. Like, I don't want to see her in NXT. I don't want to see her come into Raw.
No rematches, nothing.
Debut in the Royal Rumble, and then, she's the newest whatever for Raw. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Win it. I win the Royal Rumble, Roxanne.
Fine.
Fine,
sign me up.
That'd be sick.
Yeah,
That'd be crazy.
I'm with you. Because it's like, Roxanne got the first win. Julia gets the second. Leave it at 1-1. Move on. Boom. Boom, boom, boom.
And I think that is the show.
Yeah,
basically
it is. I think so.
Everyone, patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling for a Patreon exclusive podcast. We're changing. I'm changing the verbiage if you didn't notice. Patreon exclusive episode. We are answering all your questions. We got like 16 or 17 questions. Woo. We're talking movies. I think Interstellar and
I
IMAX.
did.
We're gonna talk a bunch of stuff. Patreon.com/Stache Club Wrestling now for $5 a month if I change the thing in time. Please subscribe. Please follow us on everything. Leave your comments. Leave what your thoughts on the weekly show. What you disagreed with. What you did. What you agree with. Blah blah blah. And we'll get out of here. Thank you everyone for joining. Everyone. See you again before the holidays. We're gonna see you before again the holidays.
Yeah.
Stache Awards though this weekend. I think Sunday. Be on the lookout. Please tune in. We have a bunch of special guests. It's gonna be a banger of a show. I don't want to spoil anything, but I got the Avengers.
At the Infinity Stones,
and
baby.
that's what I'm leaving it at. Everyone, thank you as always.
We'll see ya. Peace.
Spoiler free. Talk to me about the IMAX Interstellar.
It's a once in a lifetime type of experience, and
do you guys have any unpopular opinions about the PG era? I don't know if you guys have talked about this before, but what's your favorite Christmas movie? Ooh.
Polar Express. I got it tattooed on me.
Instantly comes to mind is POD. Bringing Rey Mysterio out.
Mark Henry, 3-6 Mafia.
Easy.
I think of Undertaker, Rollin'. I came up on TikTok. They had the band